So this really just covers the last section of this massive but fun series of videos on Hear My Train Comin'. And this last part of the song isn't quite quote-unquote a 12-bar blues. He does a long little vamp on the one chord. And unlike the method that I typically use, which is note for note, here I think it would be a little more beneficial if I just showed you a few different open position possibilities to play over this one chord vamp that he does, so that you can pick and choose what you like. Not only that, but it kind of acts as a little review of what we've seen earlier. And it might be a little easier to compartmentalize this information that way too. Okay, so he's really channeling a lot of Catfish Blues, Muddy Waters type of guitar playing in this open position. So if you kind of think in that way, you can see where he's coming from, and that might help as well. Alright, but I'll just show you a few different things that he might do. This one. So that's just plucking the bottom E and D strings open, hammering into the first fret of the G string. Again, with that kind of popping articulation. And then that same pull, bend, and trill. Okay, another thing that he might do is really Lightning Hopkins style slides, which we've seen. Sliding into the 4th fret of the G string, then coming back down to that 2nd fret after strumming the treble strings a bit, then landing back on the root, back into that partial E chord. Okay, so that's 2 possibilities. Now you can start to mix and match. What else might he do? He really loves playing this finger positioning for the bass strings. Kind of in that 5th fret position. So one thing that you might do, which we've seen already, is stuff like this. That wouldn't be what it. One sec. Something like that. You can really play around with these kinds of things, but really the main idea here is that you've got a lot of great notes on the 5th and 7th frets of these bottom 3 strings. That minor pentatonic. And then you can always throw in that pull trill. Alright, so you've got a ton of different possibilities. I'll show you one more. This is literally verbatim Catfish Blues. He does do this. Now let me try that again. Alright, so that's just pull trill. Then right into this. Bend up on the G string 2nd fret, plucking the top 2 strings with a little more emphasis on the top string. Then once you've plucked them, you come back down. It's almost like you've obviously still got it pre-bent, so now you come back down on that 2nd fret bend. Land back on the root. So obviously tons of different possibilities. If you start mixing and matching those types of licks that Jimmy would play, and start getting really comfortable with at least a few, then you'll be able to do all sorts of things on this vamp. Now, he begins to get close to that little break that he does. And after playing that break, which kind of signals the end of this vamp section, he does this kind of thing. now we're just dealing with the top 3 strings. First fret of the G string fretted, top 2 strings open. Coming up to the 4th fret, still the top 2 strings are open. Now you'll be fretting the B string as well. 3rd fret of that B string. And then to the 5th fret of that B string. It's a really kind of messy sound. And that messiness will come more from your right hand doing kind of syncopated strums than from your left hand. Okay, and what he does then is, again, a Lightning Hopkins style thing. So that's just 4th fret slide. Here, your left hand is responsible for a bit of the messiness because you'll be leaving those top 2 strings open. Or you can, of course, fret that 3rd fret of the B string. Got a few different possibilities there. Okay, now he just starts to do that little fade out ending. The notes do come from the trill. Actually, you know what I'll do is just play it briefly. Alright, so you know, you'll just kind of be, after doing that Lightning Hopkins thing, you'll just be coming right back down to the bottom. Do a little bendy thing on the 3rd fret. And once you're done that, then he really starts to play in unison with what he sings. You play that. I kind of like to play it here. So what you'll be doing is 5th fret of the D string, 5th fret of the A string, to the 2nd fret of the D string, back to this, of the bottom string. Alright. Now you do that same 3rd fret bend, but now with the open A string. Same thing. That lick, aggressive strum on the top side of that partial E chord, and then this descending D7 chord shape starting at the 4th fret chromatically down. Into the E major. And then he kind of finishes it with a dominant 7, which will be fretted at the 3rd fret of the B string. Okay, so there we finally have pretty much the entire song. So I hope you gained a bit of information, at least maybe a couple new ideas of what you can play over a more modern rendering of what might have sprung from the Delta blues. So it's a really cool study and lots of fun to play. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions, just let me know.